ready?
No. Okay.
Ready? This meeting is being held in conformance with the Sunshine Law. Notice of time, date, and place has been furnished to the Bergen Record and the Ridgewood News. Notice has also been posted on the bulletin board of the Administration Building. Would the clerk kindly take the roll?
Mayor Giordano.
Here.
Ms. Saracola.
Here.
Mr. Schatz.
Here.
Mr. Shalero.
Here.
Mrs. Sherman.
Here.
Mrs. Weber.
Here.
Everyone kindly rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Let us have a moment of silence for all Waldwick veterans, all veterans across our country who have given the ultimate sacrifice so that we can assemble the way we are tonight and remain free. Would the clerk kindly do the prayer?
Dear Lord, we start this meeting asking for your guidance and wisdom. May we find unity and fairness. The outcome should reflect our wishes to assist the borough in all their endeavors. Thank you in his name. Amen.
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 Good evening, everyone. And under my report, just a couple of items. Since school opened up, there's a lot of organizations and scouts and Girl Scouts and baseball associations doing fundraisers throughout the community to support themselves and their trips and anything of what they do. So I've asked everyone, if you see them in the street, be generous with them, buy a mums, buy a cookie, or whatever you have to do, support their car washes, because by us doing that, it keeps them to do what they enjoy doing. And, you know, we're only young once, and it'd be nice to support them. Also, if you notice, in back of us, there's a new wall. Well, it's the old wall, but a new color. We decided to update the building a little bit. So what we did was we want to thank the DPW for coming in and painting the wall for us. And then also the way the flags are now, it'll remain this way. A little bit different color and decor here. Next time we will be doing downstairs in the main lobby. We have some plans to do that. Also, our administrator, Steve, approached me and asked me about some ideas he had. And one of the ideas he had, which I thought was a great idea, and we are going to probably do it in October. Starting in the month of October, the staff of the borough here will be wearing pink in honor of cancer awareness. And then what I'm asking of all the council is we have 2 council meetings in October. So instead of coming in suits and ties, we're all going to get a shirt also. And I'd like you all to wear your shirt for the 2 meetings. So between now and hopefully by Monday, if you could just email Matt your size so that he could order you a shirt. And we're going to be wearing it for the, the month of October. We're also working on having the staff here also during the summer wear polo shirts, golf shirts. It'll be a little bit different than what we're doing for cancer awareness. And once again, we will have the council also have a shirt, because in the summer months we do not wear suits, so you could wear this golf shirt while we run our meetings. And that's all I have to report. Financial Administration Committee, Mr. Shalero.
No report.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, no report.
Oh, I'm sorry. Fire and Police Protection Committee, Ms. Saracola.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, starting with the fire department, the volunteers had 7 calls for service since the last council meeting. They had 3 activated fire alarms, 1 utility pole smoking, and 3 mutual aid requests. One was a vehicle fire in Hohokus, another was a fire alarm in Saddle River, and the third was the motor vehicle accident in Hohokus. Members attended the New Jersey State Firefighters Convention, which was located in Wildwood. The meetings were held on Friday, 9/15, and Saturday, 9/16, at the Wildwood Convention Center. 15 members from Waldwick attended. During the convention, the Waldwick, Hohokus, and Saddle River Fire Departments responded to all calls together from Thursday at noon to Sunday at 1 p.m. On Thursday, 9/21, members attended the Bloodborne Pathogens Training and HAZCOM, which is part of their annual required JIF training. The police department, moving on to them, they don't really have anything to report this time, but they are working through the traffic study recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you. Public Safety Committee, Mr. Sherman.
Thank you. September 18th, I attended the general meeting of the Waldwick Volunteer Ambulance Corps. They accepted 2 new members, and they're excited and grateful to keep expanding their roster. and they wish their new members luck and success in their future with Wallback. October 13th through the 15th, members will be attending the EMT convention, which is held locally and is an opportunity for the members to renew their certifications and to learn many new things and learn about new equipment. The Ambulance Corps members held a Family and Friends CPR course at the Waldwick Public Library on September 14th, which I attended. There was about 15 residents there, and I have to say it was fantastic. I learned a lot of tactics and information. We watched a video, and then they had little dummies or whatever they're called, and we learned how to do chest compressions, and we learned how to use the AED device and how to put the pads on the victims if they need it. So that was really great to know, because I always see the AED boxes in different buildings, so it was nice to learn how to use it and to feel comfortable doing so. We also learned how to dislodge objects from an infant's throat in a choking scenario, and I want to congratulate the members on a job well done. They'll be offering the course again in later in the autumn, so watch the Borough newsletter for that information, and it was also posted on the library website. Let's see, the Ambulance Corps members pointed out an electric problem that is in their building at the moment, and I did discuss it with Steve. Apparently a motion detector was installed, and it's creating some electrical problems in the building by turning off the outlets, so their pagers are dying. So Steve said they're going to bring an electrician in to look at that. Let's see, they will be participating in the Warrior Night Out, which is held on October 20th at the Bubble in town. All residents are invited to attend. It's a great evening sponsored by our Waldwick Police Department, and there's many activities and many different borough organizations represented at it. Let's see, they continue to do standby at the Waldwick High School football games. So if you see them there, give them a wave or stop over and say hello and learn about their ambulance corps. They're always looking for members, and they're always willing to give tours of their ambulance. Let's see, they gave a report of the generous donations they received in the past month, and they wanted to say thank you to everyone. Let's see, they're accepting nominations for their new officers and executive board, so that's an ongoing process that they are going through right now. And I had a meeting with a few of the members to discuss the possibility of a sprint car. They gave me information about it. What it is the head EMT, the head of each crew, would have the opportunity to keep that vehicle in their home while they are on call, and they would go directly to a scene of where Wallback is called out for. So the sprint car would arrive first and start immediate care on the person. This would start the necessary medical work on a patient while the ambulance is on its way to the patient's home. So I discussed it with Mr. Mayor and with Steve and Neil, and we're looking at this point to get a used police car to give to Wallback to use until we could get them a sturdier police car that's coming off the roster. Perhaps next year. It was said to me that next year, perhaps a SUV from the police department that's coming off of rotation could be donated to Wallvac for their use. So this is a very exciting event that could potentially help save lives in Waldwick. And Wallvac is very excited and very eager to hear the outcome of this decision. I think it's a great asset to them, and it would really help to save lives. So that's all I have at this moment. I'll have more under unfinished business.
Good, thank you. In regards to that vehicle, when you did speak to us, I right away spoke to our administrator, and there were 2 vehicles that the police department were giving up. But when they were looked at, they weren't safe. But next year, there's 2 vehicles, am I correct, that are in better shape than the ones now?
Yes, we are. We're still going to do a final, thorough look through just to make sure, but to be determined. One way or another, we're going to work towards getting them a vehicle. that they
Yeah,
deserve.
that's good news. Again, those vehicles that are a little considered not perfectly safe or whatever, like on their last leg, the ambulance corps would keep that vehicle in town, and it would be only driving like maybe a mile. Waldwick isn't that big. So, it would only be used very limited amount just to hold them over till we approve a new police vehicle in the next budget and get a new one delivered and are able to take one out, because really that time frame would probably be a year until they would have this sprint car. So we're really keeping our fingers crossed that one of those clunkers could be given over to them just to hold them over. So thank you very much for
One-
your time in looking into this. I appreciate everything the mayor said and Steven said, and hopefully things work out. Thank you.
Long as it's safe, that's
Mr.
the
Mayor.
main
Yes,
thing.
thank you.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Councilman Sherman, one question I have, have they decided, is the car going to follow the ambulance to the hospital?
No. Oh, to the hospital?
Because it turned out that if you only have 2 people and two
Yeah,
at the
they have
call-
a whole SOP on it, standard operating procedures, which they have already taken in as their rules, accepted it. And if necessary, they can leave the car at the
Right.
patient's home and hop in the ambulance. But chances are it would not be necessary, and that crew chief could go home with the sprint car and wait for the next call and be able to respond immediately. So it's going to be, definitely beneficial to our residents. They'll be able to be quicker on the response and quicker on the care, and therefore freeing up our officers to get back doing their job instead of waiting longer for Wallvac to arrive. So it's a win-win for everybody. Thank you for your question.
Thank you. Recreation and Health Committee, Mrs. Weber.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to thank everyone for a successful pool season, and members to be on the lookout for a survey that will be coming in the email. We would really like for the residents and the members of the pool to fill that out for if they have any information on how to do things better or anything that they saw this year. Also, on September 13th marked the end of our 2023 summer concert series. We're looking forward to more music in 2024. Thursday, November 2nd, I know it's a little in advance, but some people like to plan for this. There's going to be a free rabies clinic at Borough Park and Pavilion B from 6 to 7 p.m. That's on November 2nd. And then Northwest Regional Health Commission held an event at Tamaron yesterday for the resident seniors there to have access to the flu shot. Also, September is National Food Safety Education Month, and they said there's 4 steps to safety on how to run food handling. 1 is to wash, 2 to separate, 3 to cook, and 4 to chill your food. For more information, you can see the nwbrhc.org or Northwest Bergen Regional on social media. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, that's all I have.
Thank you. Buildings and Grounds Committee, Mr. Schatz.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I attended an environmental meeting last Thursday. Main thing that came out of it was the fact that we do have a styrofoam collection. October 14th is the next one down at the DPW. And I believe we're going to be working with Allendale on that particular one also. We also talked about, we were talking again, we're going to talk with the administrator about the cleaning up of the rain garden, which I believe is done by now. It was started last week, but it is done now. So we also are talking about sending the styrofoam to the Ridgefield densifier, which is being set up, and we're talking about doing that, and that's going to save us money and time from traveling back and forth. So that should be a good thing. We're also talking about composting and having classes to teach the residents about composting. As far as the buildings and grounds go, I spoke with the administrator today, and the first things first, they're starting to work on the charging stations out here in the parking lot. They ran some poles along here to put the electric grid, and then they dug the holes, and I think they're coming back within the next week or so to run the lines into the ground to set it up for putting those in the ground. They also, we are happy to say, I think we might have said this last time, but happy to say that we have signed a loan for the, closed on the loan for the treatment systems. So they are moving forward. Initially, they just started doing some light tree work and silt fence work on some of the systems. They plan on starting on number 2 and number 2 and number 3 in October, November, and then 4 and 5 they'll start November, December, January. Those 4 and 5 are the ones that are over by HCA Park, and the reason why we're doing that is to try and help the residents so that they're not having things going on during that. So if they do it during the winter time, they won't be disturbing the events that are going on in the HCA Park. And then they'll move towards 6 and 7. Most likely 6 will be the last one that they'll do minor repairs on because that one already has a treatment system in it. So then once they get going, which should start in October, they're going to start having regular update meetings and reports, and the reports are going to be on the website. So you'll see the reports of schedules and work that they're doing at the same time. They are working on the they're working on the final plans for Wallvac to fix up the building. So it should start that. They want to try and start and finish that before the end of the year if they can. They also, the footbridge, they're waiting on the soil results for the testing, the geotechnical engineering parts, so that they can prepare the engineering plans to put that together. And then that's it for next minute.
Thank you. Borough Administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. Couple updates. Hydrant flushing is going on right now in districts 4 and 6. We're trying to work on the communication process for that to notify people as far in advance and keep everyone up to date. So we did create a web page which lists out all the completed streets, so you can kind of track that. If you go to waldwicknj.org/publicworks, you'll see a link for hydrant flushing. So I would check that regularly. Once they finish your street, that does not mean you won't experience discoloration. There's still a chance you might experience some discoloration in your water, so just be aware of that. We do have Waste Disposal Day coming up on October 7th. The flyer's posted on our website now. And traffic safety has been a big topic lately. I've been meeting and working with the police department. We've been checking out a lot of different intersections and options for certain areas around town. We did submit some recommendations to the engineer who recently completed a traffic safety study for their comments back on our recommendations, and then we'll bring something forward to the council, and hopefully you'll start to see some things going in around town. And that's pretty much it. I think we touched on a lot of the water updates. We're looking forward to getting started and really breaking ground in a couple weeks on well 2.
Thank you.
Mr. Administrator, just so the residents do know, I had discoloration. I'm in District 5, so it can happen. So it happened today when I was running. So it can happen. It's not going to be just in 4 and 5. It's, it'll happen. Just flush it a couple more times, it goes away. So it was a problem, not a problem.
Borough Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2023-294, which is the raffle license for families. I've received all of that documentation. that is necessary to pass that resolution. With regards to elections, the vote by mail ballots were mailed to those Waldeck residents on the county's list yesterday. On the website is a link to a video on how to complete your vote by mail ballot if you have any issues with that. The vote by mail ballot should be dropped in the drop box. There are a number of them, but we in Waldwick have our own on just off of 15 East Prospect behind Fire Company Number 1. Our signs are out directing voters to that drop box. October 17th is late night voter registration, and my office will be open until 8 p.m. Friday is the last day to schedule a white goods pickup for Monday, October 2nd. October 1st is the last BCUA recycling event for this year, and that will include paper shredding, computers and electronics, unwanted medications, and tire recycling, and that's at Bergen County Campground Mountain Reservation, 200 Campground Road, from 9 to 2 p.m., rain or shine. October 26th, since the calls have already started, October 26th starts curbside leaf collection with District 1. The schedule is posted on our website, and we also have copies in the main lobby in where we have all those brochures. Bulk collection online scheduling form is available to residents who wish to add their bulk items to our monthly collection list. It's your name, your address, and your maximum of 2 non-metal items. It's waldwicknj.org, and look for the scrolling garbage and recycling icon and just click on that, and that page will open you up to the bulk collection, and you click on the online form. And then I just want to just kind of give a placeholder. We're going to be doing a Thanksgiving food drive here at the borough. We're just now getting our bins ready, and that will start October 1st and run through, I believe it's Monday, November 13th. We do have a flyer, and we'll post that soon. And this is going to benefit Families for Families. So they'll tell you exactly what they're looking for, what they're most in need of. And we're hoping that the residents of Waldwick will support this. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Grant Administrator, Matthew.
Thank you, Mayor. Yesterday started the application period for the annual Community Development Block Grant. The application period is through December 15th, so we have some time to apply. The past few years, we've done road improvements with this grant. We're limited to some certain areas of town where we can do road improvements. If that's the way we go this year, I would meet with Mike Latour and Steve and our engineer to determine are we eligible. Another possibility for this grant is it does say that construction of public facilities and improvements such as water and sewer facilities are eligible. So I'm going to be reaching out to the county to possibly see if funds could be used to help offset the water treatment improvements. I don't know the answer to that yet, but we will apply for this, and I'll keep you updated on that possible eligibility for the water improvements. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Borough Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. We received information from council regarding the settlement with DuPont and 3M for the PFAS litigation. The way it's going to work, we don't know how the money will be split up, but the court has set a November deadline for any entity to object to the settlement. Once that hearing goes forward, as long as the settlement gets approved by the district in South Carolina, then the court's going to have to set up a way to figure out distribution to all the entities that have submitted claims. Steve has a packet of information to submit with what our costs are going to be, so it's very timely that we just closed on the loan, so we actually have hard figures compared to some other areas that might not be as far advanced with getting their systems in place. So Steve and I will be working with council to get all that information submitted, so everything's submitted timely, and as soon as we know more as to how the funds will be distributed to all the entities making claims, I'll advise you. Hopefully, we're going to recover some money in the near future. That's all, Mayor.
Are we going into close tonight?
I have no item for close. No, thank you.
Okay. Consent resolutions and resolutions of the governing body.
Be it resolved that the following resolutions herewith listed by consent, having been considered by the governing body of the Borough of Waldeck, are hereby passed and approved. 2023-289, approval of consent. 2023-290, approval of minutes, regular meeting, September 12, 2023. Policy votes. A, Matthew and Jessica Adio request to use Pavilion A on September 30th from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. for a private party with alcoholic beverages being served. B, Kim Coleman requests to use Pavilion A on October 1st from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. for a private party with alcoholic beverages being served. C, Katie Vincent requests to use Pavilion A on October 21st from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. for a private party with alcoholic beverages being served. D, Megan Catazanrita, sorry if I butchered that, requests to use Pavilion A on October 22nd from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. for a private party with alcoholic beverages being served. E, John and Heather Gaddy request to use the municipal pool parking lot on October 14th from 1 to 6 p.m. for wedding guests for a wedding at 59 Hopper Avenue. 2023-291, appointment of full-time crossing guard Karen Giacormaro. 2023-292, appointment of per diem crossing guards John, wow, you guys are killing me tonight, Guglamati and Robert Acapinti, thank you. 2023-293, appointment of per diem public service, public safety, telecommunications, police radio dispatchers, Patrick Balabat and Austin Reed. 2023-294, approval of raffle license 2023-05 for Family for Families. 2023-295, authorized retention of dumpster escrow for 12 Maple Avenue. 2023-296, cancellation of taxes, block 120.01, lot 9, and 2023-297, payment of vouchers.
Do we have a motion and a second to accept? Motion by Paul, second by Katie. Anyone on the question? Could we just, on number E, since we're having this, there's a wedding that people are going to park, could we make it so that the police that day don't have to stay there, but every once in a while, just go around there and check it out to make sure that the guests are not, there's no problem, you know, if they're crossing the street or something.
Yep.
Okay. Clerk, take the roll.
Ms. Saracola?
Yes.
Mr. Schatz?
Yes.
Mr. Shalero?
Yes.
Mrs. Sherman?
Yes.
Mrs. Weber?
Yes.
We have no public hearings. We have no introduction of ordinances. Anyone from the council have any unfinished business they would like to discuss?
Thank you. I just wanted to mention to everyone that the Beautification Committee held another work day on September 16th, a Saturday morning. We cleaned up the bus stop on Route 17. We weeded it out. We pulled out trees and tall weeds and trimmed back the bushes and just picked up a ton of litter and made it look a lot nicer. It was getting very overgrown. We filled, I think it was 2 or 3 tall leaf bags of vegetation. So it looks much better, and I hope people took notice. Some of the wildflowers we, you know. Some of the wildflowers we threw in there from Earth Day, the little seeds from Earth Day, grew, so we were happy because all the ones we threw on the overpass did not grow, so we were happy to see the little wildflowers. They looked pretty. We have a work day coming up with the Beautification Committee in 2 weeks, which I discussed with the mayor before the meeting, and I'll be reaching out to him again. So, yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Also, if you notice, when you come into the building, you see some areas in front of our building onto the grass area. That's an Eagle Scout project that was started last week. A flower box was put in, flowers were put in there. Now the Eagle Scout is going to be working on the bench that goes with it. Once this project is done, he will come and let us know about it. And I told him if he wants to have a ceremony, whatever he needs to do for his project, it's up to him. Also, the other Eagle Scout that is working on the extension of the pathway at the H.A. Park, he was in talking with the administrator myself, and he's in the process of doing his project. He's the young man that sister did the first part, and now he's continuing and doing the second part. So we have 2 Eagle Scouts working back to back, getting their Eagle Scout award. Anyone else? If not, public comments. Anybody from the public?
For you to have new business.
Oh, I'm sorry, new business.
No problem. Okay, so I just wanted to highlight the Walden Community Alliance Ragamuffin Parade and the Borough Trunk or Treat. It's taking place on October 28th. And I know the last few years I've been attending, some of the the cars handing out candy was a bit sparse, so I was wondering if we could get, a mayor and council booth or car going, handing out candy together,
You'd
maybe a
have to
joint
ask-
costume.
You'll have to ask Chuck because he's in charge of this. We're just
Chuck,
guessing there.
can we have a car and hand out candy? Thank you.
Is Chuck paying for it? You paying for it?
Well, that brings me to my next point. So I was wondering if it's possible for the borough to purchase some candy to give to the cars, because I know that it's kind of a burden for the residents to kind of come and purchase the candy and hand out, because there's like a ton of kids. So I thought maybe that's a deterrent for people that might want to come, but don't want to spend as much money.
Well, we give out the plaques already, so I can't see why not. Are you all right with that, Chuck? And no, we do have the ambulance corps there, we do have the, okay. I know we have the ambulance corps there, and we have the fire department there, they hand out candy, so we could also give them quantities of stuff to hand out also. And if anybody's there that wants to hand out, and they have a car, I don't see why not. Everybody all right with that? And since you did it, you could go and buy it.
Because I think
Okay.
what happened the last couple of years, like Katie had
Yeah.
mentioned, that last year there wasn't a lot of
Trump.
right, a lot of trunks, and I think people were overwhelmed. The
Yeah.
10 or 12 cars that were there couldn't handle the amount of kids, and
Right.
a lot of.
Yeah, we'll take care of that.
Okay.
Even if we just handled the overflow, like if people run out and they can get
We have an account
refilled.
with Amazon. We get on Amazon. Speak to Matt.
All right, I'll talk to him. Thank you. I had another item, too. I just wanted to ask Steve, I saw there were some cars from NJ Transit down at the overpass, so I didn't know what was going on there.
Yeah, so I had heard and I got some pictures sent to me that they were doing some work on the walkway down there. By the time I got down there, they were already gone.
Okay.
It was also pouring rain, so I don't know if that deterred them. So I don't exactly know what was going on there. I haven't received an update from our contact yet, but I will continue to keep asking them for updates.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Now, didn't they agree to paint it, too?
They haven't agreed to anything yet.
Not yet. But we're pushing.
We are trying our best, yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, anyone else? Okay, now, public comment. Anybody from the public would like to comment, please come to the microphone. Just tell us your name, not your address, please.
Ted Sanzo. I have absolutely no problem with the veteran going absolutely tax-free for as long as they are disabled. However, does the town have any recourse, either from the VA or whatever, to recoup the loss? I have no problem with the person going tax-free for the rest of their lives. But is there any method to recoup?
I do not believe so, but we can confirm that with you, but I do not believe so.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, Michelle and Doug Dillon. We're here because work was done on our street today that you had mentioned previously with the poles. We're at,
Could you talk a little bit louder?
Sure.
If you don't mind, thank you.
no problem. We were not notified that this was going to happen today. And PSG was on the block for most of the day, right?
Yeah, a few hours.
They did the work around 2?
Yeah, earlier.
Yeah. Not sure why we weren't notified. We were notified when all of this, you redid the parking lot, we got letters that there was a meeting, we can attend via Zoom. But trees have been taken down in our block, new trees are planted. I know it's going to take a few years for those to grow in, but there's also weeds that aren't really being taken care of on Dora in our little area right back here. And we're pretty close to the main street, but we've always kind of been, the street behind, and it's been private, but now I'm starting to feel like I live on the main street, and that wasn't, why we moved there. So just we're concerned about the area.
Yeah, I would just say, up to about 6 months ago, we had complete privacy when we would look out. Our house is 3 doors down, right from the back of the building. And trees would, you couldn't even see the public safety building. So we had a lot of privacy, and we didn't hear as much. And now, once they took the trees down, basically we hear every conversation that any police officer comes out or a fireman comes out to the back, we hear everything, every car door that closes. So when we came out this morning, we found out they were putting another, like adding another pole, additional pole out there, which I don't know if anybody's seen. It doesn't look nice. I don't know if you want to add more poles to the town. I thought the idea was to add less, the less wires and stuff. So it's going to go down and then across, and they're also adding 3 new transformers to the pole that was outside, which only had 1. So, I mean, definitely, we do feel like it's not as private. And the garbage for the public safety used to be on the side. Now they backed that up into Door Ave. So we see the garbage right out our front window. We get to see the garbage because the trees are down. And today we find out they're putting the EV stations. When the building's ground person pointed to where they're going, he pointed over here, and that's not true. They're actually going down the block and, by the, which I don't understand because it's a pretty busy parking lot with a lot of cars. Just tonight, I don't know, there's a minor event at the library, and there's a lot of cars. It's pretty full out there. You have an underutilized lot over here, like backed up to the bank, which could be used possibly. Maybe they can get the power off Franklin Turnpike. I do understand there's where they're getting the power from. I don't know if it has to be on door that they have to get that power to supply it. But it just seems like, like I said, 6 months ago it was quiet. It was nice dead on the street here, and now it's, you look out, you can see all of Main Street, every little thing that's going on. And the fence had stopped, I guess, when the old trees were there. And now it just stops where the garbage is, and then it picks up again after the garbage, and I'm not sure why that is. The fence is getting to be a little dilapidated. Just requesting fixing the fence and continuing it on to complete it. So right now you got people that can they see it, so now they use it more as kind of cutting through those trees, the new trees, into the new lot, which could cause damage to the trees and messing up the mulch and everything else. So I would just request that we continue that fence all the way down so that people aren't cutting through. I am requesting and just voicing my opinion on the EV stations. When they are put in, we're going to be hearing more cars coming. I know the stations themselves are quiet, but people are backing in or pulling in and getting out and closing and opening car doors, and it's going to be open to the public. I was told. Again, we have, if it could be backed up into the bank instead of to the neighbors on Dora, would be beneficial, I think, to everybody. Because there's no one using that lot up against the bank there.
And is it 2 stations? Charging station?
Yes.
It's just going to be 2?
Yes.
Yeah, and just the overall maintenance, that is pretty brand new out there. With they did a nice job with the walkways, but the weeds are already growing through the walkways. And no one seems to be maintaining that. They didn't, they put initial mulch down, but they haven't redid anything out there. It really kind of looks bad already, and it's only a few months old out there. So, those trees, I'm told they're healthy, but they're
They
starting to
don't
turn
look
brown
right.
already. They don't look healthy. We do need those to grow to get our privacy back, but it's going to take years.
We've been told.
Yes. So I just, adamant about having that. I had a question about the generator. I know they have a generator by the police station. I think that failed when the last power outage, so now they have a temporary generator. I just want to just make sure that they put a new generator in, they don't back that up again, because that's extremely loud. You hear that anytime that kicks in, or they have a tested generator. I work nights. I'm in law enforcement. As soon as that kicks on, you can hear it wake me up. So I just want to make sure that if that doesn't get backed up into that same area where everything else seems to be better.
Well, in regards to the fence, we could continue the fence.
Yeah, there's some planned maintenance on the fence anyway, so we'll definitely check in to see if it includes, completing the project.
And in regards to what you're saying about the mulch and all the weeds, that's a big pet peeve with me. And I've also spoke to the administrator about it, and we're trying to come up with what I would like to see, and I think we should do this, every morning the DPW should be here cleaning the building up before it opens up to the public. They get here earlier, they get here at 7:30 to work, somebody could be here. If you travel any other town, you see a lot of maintenance men, 2, 3 maintenance men. We don't need that, we need just one, just to go around, make sure the walkway is clean. I mean, it's your building, and I think it should be, corrected like that. In regards to the poll, I mean, I think you met with the family?
Yeah, if you want, I'll touch on that.
Sure.
So one big thing is communications. So really, at this point, you're right. It should have been communicated with you. We should have engaged with you earlier on. So I apologize on behalf of the borough for that one. We like to notify as much as possible. We did have a window with PSC&G of about a month, a few weeks, so we weren't sure of the exact day they came. Obviously, they came today, so it took us all a little bit by surprise. So we definitely do apologize for that. Going forward, if there's any major changes like that, we will absolutely try and communicate, not just with your street, but with every resident in town. So definitely apologize for that. The maintenance, big issue, definitely going to address that. We'll get that weeded, cleaned up. We did have someone come out and look at the trees. They said, although they're browning a little bit, they are still healthy and they should survive. If they don't, we will, replace as needed. If any die again, I know that was an issue previously.
I know I've seen DPW, they were watering and stuff, I haven't seen them recently.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's been
We got a
raining
lot of
for
rain,
like
I
a
know.
month straight.
Yeah.
But yes, we will. We'll keep an eye on it, definitely. And then just with the generator, we are waiting on a part at the building. So the generator there will be
Not gonna-
fixed. It's not going to get moved. That's not in the plans right now. So hopefully get rid of the temporary soon, but we're just waiting on a piece right now.
So that other is just a temporary? because
Just a
the part is
temporary,
needed
the
for
green unit
green
that's
zone.
there now should remain.
Just on the EV station, I know it's late in the game here now, but there's no chance in looking at alternative spots for those, like, to underutilized areas of this parking lot that they can have more room for, parking out there and, not be right up against the neighbors.
Yeah, at this point, the stage in that project, everything's pretty well set. I can't totally speak to that. That was before my time, but what I've learned recently is that was scoped out with the PSC&G engineers, our borough engineer as well, and that's the location they picked. It's the easiest and shortest run, I'll say, from the pole. We weren't able to take power from the pole that's closest to the building down here at the end of Dora. So that's why they chose that pole, and then that's the quick run into the lot. If you start, there's no other poles to grab from down here to kind of push things down this way without adding, significant cost. And this was funded through PSC&G grants and DEP grants.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? If not, do I have a motion to go into, a motion to say goodnight? Motion by Paul, second by Katie. All those in favor? All those opposed?